Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining the second week. This is called self-development. Thank you for your time. I know it's valuable. That's what we're going to cover today. We have a lot to cover and not a lot of time, just like always. So I just wanted to get the pleasantries out the way of saying thank you for joining with this journey with me, and I'll add value to your life as well. So the topic for this week, here's my handy dandy notes, is self-development. And self-development means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So we're going to define that real quick, and then we'll go, moving forward. So the first thing, self-development means to develop self. That's what it's going to mean for the purpose of this video and in the future. Just to develop yourself. And we're going to go over a whole bunch of different reasons why you need to. So we're going to go over a lot of different reasons why you need to self-develop. So the first point that I have is, unless you change who you are, you'll always be what you've always been. So imagine real quick that you're sitting at home and you're watching a YouTube video. Now imagine your life right now, exactly how it is, with every single problem you've got, everything that you have on your plate, from your work to your leisure to your relationships to everything, right? Now imagine that you want things to change, because I assume that you want things to change, right? Now imagine blaming the government. Now imagine blaming your boss. Now imagine blaming everybody else but yourself. I know many people, and even I used to be one of these people, that I would have a list of reasons why I couldn't succeed. I'd have the taxes at the top of the list, inflation just underneath that. I'd have my mom, from the past experience in the previous video, you guys know, there's a lot of different things on that list, and I wasn't in the top 100 of them, if I'm being honest with you. So I'm asking you to go over your list, right? Go over the list of reasons why you can't succeed and ask yourself, what number am I on that list? And the best thing about this is, if you change and you grow and you put in the work to self-develop, you'll get the results, right? And if you get the results, that means you can change. So, bad news, if you don't change, you'll always be what you've always got. If you don't change, in 10 years from now, you will be exactly where you are now, but maybe with some, inflation or some compound interest, right? Like if I work, say I work for McDonald's, and I'm not hating anybody that works for McDonald's, I think it's an entry-level job, right? Point blank period. I work at McDonald's, I get paid $10 an hour, and I'm not even a leader at McDonald's. I'm just, just a employee, right? I'm flipping burgers. That's all I do. In the heater, right? 10 years from now, if nothing changes and I keep making money, I'm going to be exactly where I'm at, right? Because I still have bills to pay. I still have things I need to do. I still have commitments where my money has to go. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm not growing. I'm just, the best I can do is complain, right? So that's the first thing, is unless you change who you are, you'll always be what you've always been. And that's the simplest way that you can put it, right? The second thing I have is income is equal to personal development. So your income, your direct income, is going to have a direct correlation and affiliation to your personal development. And what I mean by that is, if you look at Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, any billionaire, you could even go millionaire, their income is a direct correlation on where they are. Has to develop personally to scale up with that, correct? So he owns Apple. He has to now scale and grow as Apple grows, or Apple will outgrow him, and then somebody else will take control over Apple, right? So your income has a direct correlation to your level of personal development, and that's good and that's bad. Bad if you are not on a high level of personal development, as in you are not working on yourself to personally develop, you will be broke. You will be broke. Point blank period, you will be broke. If you work on yourself and you make yourself more valuable, right? You are becoming more developed, then you are worth more money. So the answer is, there's light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to dig, right? So you have to physically put in the work. Generally, right? Generally. It's a direct reflection of who you are and the level you're operating at. We just covered that. If I'm operating at 150% in my personal development, I'm working on myself as well to that level, to that extent. Therefore, I will reap the benefits of being at 150%, right? The next bullet point is don't ask what I'm getting, ask what I am becoming. And this is it's a broad, right? It's a broad question, or it's a broad statement, sorry. And what I mean by that is, no matter what you do, whether it be at your job, making per hour, what am I volunteering to do? So we have a couple scenarios, right? So the first one is, scenario one, is I'm looking to be employed as a marketer. I want to do marketing for a firm. I go to 10 different firms, and they all offer me X amount of dollars per hour, right? And instead of asking, what am I going to do on the job? Like, what's my job? Ask, what am I becoming, right? Who am I becoming? Because it matters much more of who you're becoming than what you're doing. Because a job, you go from 9 to 5 days a week, right? So it's taking time, and they're paying you for the value that you do in that time. You still with me? Perfect. But you need to ask what you're becoming, because you will always do that job unless you change, or you're fired or some situation happens. But you're going to do that until something changes. So therefore, you need to know what you're becoming on the job, so you know who you're becoming, so you know how you will get to these goals that you've set, right? So don't ask, how much am I getting paid? What is my job, right? You can't go into the marketing company, you don't go into the marketing company and you say, what am I going to do? Well, you're going to make 100 cold calls. The correct question to ask is, who am I becoming? Who? Specifically who, and so what am I doing and who am I becoming? And that's very, very important. And watch how I said who, because you need to have a model, a goal, a figure of who, specifically a person you want to become, so you can obtain and get closer to those goals. And then the next bullet point is money won't make you happy. It's not about what you got / get, what you got / get. So what I mean by that is, no matter what you do in life, money will never make you happy. There's a famous quote that says, by who you become. The next bullet point I have is, this lesson is eternal and always goes on, and it's a fundamental on success and becoming a millionaire. So this is a fundamental lesson. It's something that is always and going to be eternal. It's always going to be ever flowing forward, and you need to address that as such. So you need to know that money won't make you happy. You can cry in a Rolls Royce, or you can cry in a Toyota, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Money won't make you happy. But becoming the person that you want to become, and becoming the person you need to become, that's what's actually going to make you happy. The next bullet point I have is, remember, it'll be hard to identify and blame yourself as opposed to the circumstances. And life has this way of throwing curveballs at you, right? Where something will be great one season, and the next season you'll be in a drought. It'll be very rough, and it'll be hard. And one of the biggest things that we need to address, and the biggest things that we need to cover and go over, is that we need to remember that this is hard. This is a hard journey. If everybody did this journey and it was easy, then it wouldn't be rewarding to say that, hey, I'm a millionaire. So remember, it's going to be hard, and one of the key things you need to do is identify the issues that you have going on in your life. And even if it's you make sure that you don't blame other people. You need to blame yourself, right? So identify the issues and then put the blame on yourself accordingly, right? So, and that's hard. It's really hard to say, hey, I messed up on this real estate deal. I lost myself $90,000. But in order to grow, you need to have the responsibility and the courage to put the weight on your shoulders, right? So you can move forward. You can't change the circumstances. It's all you've got. So when I say that, it means that no matter what's going on in your life, from my parents are getting a divorce to the taxes are too high and inflation is going up, you need to remember that you can't blame the circumstances because it's all you've got, right? You can't blame, like for example, I can't blame God for making it rain because you need rain in order to have crops, right? You can't blame your circumstance because it's all you've got. If you blame all you got, then what do you have, right? Like, it's all you got. So make sure that you're not blaming all you got because it's all you got. It starts with you. You need to change for everything else to change. So, and we kind of said that previously, but in order for you to get anywhere in life, you have to make the initiative to change. That's why self-development is so important and so huge, right? Because if you don't change, you could change, you should change, and you won't change, then why are you here, right? But if you could change, you should change, and you will change, that's when the magic starts happening. That's a magic formula. And what I mean by magic formula, I mean that if you do those three things, you identify that you should change, you identify that you have the physical opportunity to change, and you will change. Those are the three things that really push you and slingshot you into the next level, right? So remember that. The next bullet point I have is that to have, you simply need to become more. And that's magical. It's mystic. Because think about it. For your whole life to change, all you have to do is become more, right? All you have to do is simply become more. And that's great because you can become more. But it takes effort and work. And I can prove this to you with one statement. If I committed murder today, would my life 100% change? The answer is yes. We assume I would get caught, I would go to jail, and my life would be 100% altered because I'm now in jail, right? So then I can't make these decisions. I can't, breathe fresh air. So in order for you to change, you just have to grow, and so you can change your circumstances. And that's powerful, right? Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. And what I mean by that is life has the curveballs, like I said previously, right? Sorry, my dogs are barking. But life will give you curveballs. It'll always give you curveballs over and over and over again. And it's up to us to hit them out of the ballpark, right? And in order for us to get over some of these obstacles and to get to that next level, we simply have to acquire more skills. I would never go... I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I would never go into, it's called Little Mexico. It's like South Omaha. And all they speak is Spanish, right? I would never go there to the area and go to a Mexican restaurant and try to order food in English and then wish I knew Spanish, right? Obviously, the correct thing for that situation would be I would learn Spanish, or I would take somebody with me that knows how to speak Spanish. I would never wish to do this thing. I would never wish for me to learn this language, or me just, boom, I wish I learned this language. I would never give that as a reason. I would simply learn the skill, right? So as life gives you the curveballs, as we said previously, make sure that you're not wishing, oh, I wish I didn't have this problem. I wish I didn't have this problem. Why me? Why me? Why me? And you identify that, well, all I need is some more skills, right? All I need is a couple more skills and I would be set. So the next bullet point I have, and write this down, is if you change today to do a 90-day challenge with me, the next 90 days will not be like the previous 90 days. And what I mean by that is that the previous 90 days and the next 90 days, if you are the exact same person, you failed and needed to restart that 90-day process. So start now, today, start, I'm going to change. I'm going to choose to develop myself in a way where I become more valuable to others and to myself, because I owe that to myself, right? Don't you owe yourself to become successful? Don't you owe that to your family and your friends? So take the 90-day step and journey process with me and watch how the next 90 days will be completely different than your previous 90 days. And just to do that, it takes some courage, right? It's going to take you to get out of your comfort zone. Like, believe it or not, I'm an introvert. I actually don't like public speaking. But I have a calling, and I know that I have to help change people's lives. So I'm here investing my time for 100% for free so I can invest in your future, is essentially what it is, right? If we're calling it like it is. And it costs your time to be here, right? Like, this costs your time. And I'm very thankful that you made that decision to come on out. But it's going to take courage and it's going to take bravery in order to do this 90-day challenge. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. And post on social media, hey, I'm doing Joel Carter's 90-day challenge. Watch me change, so everybody else on your social media can hold you accountable. Because holding you accountable is huge. Because you push that much harder. You go that much further. If you're on the bench press and I'm benching 135, but you have somebody spotting you, you can go to 200, 250, because they can pick up that extra weight. They can pick up that slack, right? So make sure that you have somebody to hold you accountable. And if it doesn't work or you piss somebody off, blame me. Blame Joel, right? Like, sorry, Joel Carter told me to do this. I need to cut you out of my life. Joel Carter told me to do this. I need to quit this job and go to actually do my dream job. Joel Carter told me to do this, right? And I'm okay with that. Blame me. Because in the short term, you're going to be like, damn, this blows. But in the long term, when you're doing your dream job, when you're doing your dream business, when you're actually pursuing your dream, you can say that Joel Carter helped me get that courage to get to where I need to be. And I don't want, the showboating, or I don't want your money. I don't want any of that. I just want you to get to the place where you need to be, if we're being real, right? So make sure that you blame me if it doesn't work out, and I'm completely and 100% for that. The next point I have is work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And that's magical. Again, that's huge. If you're not working harder on yourself than you are on your job, you're failing. You've messed up. And that's point blank period, right? You've messed up. So I'm asking you to change. I'm asking you to fix that. If you're working harder on your job than you do on yourself, you've messed up. Because if you're not working on yourself, you're not becoming more valuable. More people are becoming more valuable than you in the workplace. And you'll get replaced. I promise you, you'll get replaced. Imagine this. You have, we'll say Josh, and you have Joel. I'll put him right over here. So you have this wonderful gentleman right here, right? I'm working 100% on the job. He's working 80% on the job, 20% on himself. That's 100%, right? 80-20. In 1 year, he's going to be worth way more than me. Because he can now either speak another language. He can now do another skill, right? If I'm working in a factory, he can now drive a forklift. He's more valuable. Or he's been working on his sales, his pitches. He can now sell more than I can, right? So if you're not working on yourself as much, if not more than your job, you failed and you messed up, and I need you to change that right now. That's important. And that's the turning point, right? When you identify, I know I need to change, and I'm working harder on my job than I am on myself, then you've messed up, and now you know this is today, this is how I'm going to change, and we'll go over that, how we're going to change. We have so many more videos coming, so at the end of this video, I will have bullet points of basically like 5 or 6 things of how you can change, and in every single video, we'll cover it even more in depth. So we went over the basics of, if we're being very basic about it and very blunt, you save at least 10%, you manage your finances in a way where you're not always losing money, and you invest some money onto the side. And once you have money invested onto the side, we can go to the next step, where it's self-development, where you're working on your fortune part-time and you're working on your living wage, full-time, to the point where you can make your fortune your full-time. And then we have to assess goals. We have to set goals over the next 90 days. We have to make sure that they're obtainable goals and measurable goals where we're held accountable. And then you have to work on yourself in order for things to change. Otherwise, it'll always be the same, right? You'll always have somebody to blame. But putting the blame on something doesn't fix the problem. It simply just pushes it aside. So make sure that you do that. Hard workers on your job are still broke. So no matter how much you work on your job, you will always be broke. And now hear me out. You're like, well, if I get paid $40 an hour and I work overtime, I'm not saying don't work hard on your job. I'm saying if you work 100% only on your job, you will always be broke, because somebody will always take that seed. Somebody will always take the money that it's supposed to go someplace else. Somebody will always take the money that you've had, because it's not all yours. It goes to the mortgage, it goes to the car. We've covered all that. So you will always be broke, right? And lastly, I have make yourself valuable, right? You need to make yourself valuable. You need to be the person that they say, hey, I'm putting in my 2 weeks because this company wants to offer me double, triple, 100 times, whatever the case may be. And they say, hold up, Joel. You've been killing it. You've been absolutely slaying it in sales. What can we do to keep you to keep you here? What can we do in order to keep you as one of our best employees? Most people work just hard enough not to get fired, and just hard enough not to quit, right? Like just enough to not be fired and just enough not to quit. So you need to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Make yourself valuable. Make yourself an asset. So no matter what happens, even if the economy crashes, right, you still have a skill set and you still can do something that will bring value to your life. And wealth isn't just monetary value, right? Like $3 million, yeah, I'm kind of wealthy, right? If I invest it in the right place and I don't just blow it. But real and true wealth comes from you having the option to say, like Elon Musk said, I'm an entrepreneur not because I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur because some days I want to call in and just be with my kids. And that's huge, right? Because you're saying that I'm wealthy enough where I can say, I don't want to come in today. I want to spend some time with my family. Or you have the FU kind of sense of money, where you say, I don't like you. I don't want to sign that deal. I don't like you. I'm not going to get my mortgage with you. I don't like you. I'm not going to do X, Y, or Z, right? So you need to make yourself more valuable in order for you to become more valuable. One of the most frustrating things is being a below average person of asking for an above average wage. And what I mean by that is, if I have a doctorate, I'm like a physician, specifically a physician, and I get paid $10,000, $15,000 a month, and I did the work, and I did the development on myself with the schooling, it's justified for me to ask that cost, right? But if you're not an above average person, you don't have a high school diploma, and you're trying to ask for $15,000 a month, which is an above average wage, it's going to be one of the most frustrating things you're ever going to have to go through. Because nobody's going to pay you $15,000 if you're not worth $15,000, right? So one of the most frustrating things is being below average and expecting an above average income. So what I'm asking you, and what I'm asking of you, is to simply become an above average person to get an above average wage. Thank you so much for watching, and I definitely appreciate it. I am asking one thing of you. I don't ask you to do anything but one thing, and that's to share this message so we can help more people become millionaires. And in order for you to start, you might be asking yourself, okay, Joel, I know I need to self-develop, but I don't know my next step. I don't know the next step I actually need to take. And that's pretty easy. Right here, I'll tell you right now, and write them down in your notes, and we'll cover them more in-depthly in the next series of videos. Not the next video, because the next video is a bonus content of asking how much my time is worth. That'll be up next week. But after that, we'll go back to how to become a millionaire. The following week, though, we are doing a workshop with a couple of people, going over their finances, going over where they're at in life and how I can help them, Joe Carter, get them to the next level. But in order for you to get to the next level this 90 days, this is what I need you to do. Number one, I need you to identify that there's a problem. Number two, I need you to cut out that list of reasons why you can't and make it reasons why you can. And I need you to be a reason why you're on there. I need you to ask yourself, as number three, how many classes have I taken this year? How many self-help books have I read? How many hours have I invested in myself? Right? Number four is to make a goal, a measurable goal, something you can measure and hold yourself accountable to and come back to every day. Number five is I need you to write that down, and I need you to, before bed, and as soon as you get up in the morning, I need you to read that goal for the day. And it sounds super cliche, but then it gets yourself in the mindset of, I have something to work for today. I have something that I can actually work towards today. So whatever the goal may be, for example, I'm going to make $1 million in 2 years via my job and via cryptocurrency, whatever you want it to be, right? No get rich quick schemes. You'll lose your money, I promise you. Right? So make sure that you have the goal, and then you read that as soon as you wake up and as soon as you go to bed. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and you hold yourself accountable. As soon as you fall off, if you fall off, and some of us might, you start a new 90 days. So you get 2 weeks in, the third week you forget to do it, you're having a bum day, and everything's not going right. And we have those days. You start a new 90 days, you share the message so people can hold you accountable, and watch how your life will change when you have a goal in mind. As soon as you have a goal, you'll see that everything starts to play and it's all in place, right? The dominoes start falling in order, because as soon as you have a goal, then you can start lining up the pieces on how you're going to accomplish that goal. But how can you accomplish a goal you don't establish, right? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Share the message. Follow me on all my handles. My socials are at the end, and they've also been listed previously. The link tree is in the description below, which is just a quick link, and then you can, have all the links to everything. Share the message. I implore you to. I'm investing my time into you, and all I'm asking is for you to invest 5 seconds of your time to share the message. Thank you so much for coming out. I hope I've taught you enough for you to get to that next level. Take care.